Hello and welcome everyone to this Fireside chat at ABG. My name is Henrik Hintze and I'm an equity research analyst here. And with me now I have Mårten Hellberg, CEO of OrganoClick, a company that I cover. Welcome.
Thank you, Henrik.
So a few weeks ago now you reported your Q4 of 2024, closing out the year. Would you maybe like to start by summing up 2024?
Well, absolutely. 2024 was in overall a challenging year, but a year where we had quite different results depending on what business area we were looking into. Actually, our consumer brands, OrganoClick and BioClean, did very well. We had more than 30% growth within these segments. However, on the other side, the industrial products, our binders in the non-woven and fiber technology segment and our wood technologies in functional wood segments had a quite tough year due to the fact that the hotel and restaurant business, which we are heavily against in the non-woven segment, went down, and also the building sector had a very difficult year. So it was a difference between our different business areas.
Yeah, that's the same picture that I got as well. So you've started out the year with some events since then. In February, two of your products, BioProtect and your BioBinder, were nominated at the IDEA Awards, which is a large non-woven show, as far as I've understood. Could you tell us a bit about how important this is when selling to new customers, that you can demonstrate that you've been nominated at awards like this?
Yeah, well, IDEA, as you mentioned, that's the largest non-woven show in the US, and the US market is the market where we want to go in with our binders for non-wovens. So this type of recognition from the industry, because it's a jury based, which is a number of different industrial experts, it's very important because this really puts us on the agenda for the show and also for the customers. And then, of course, that one of our customers' products was also awarded as the non-woven material for the year. That was really good as well, because I mean, if they are successful, then we will be successful.
Yeah, all right. So digging a bit more into the non-woven segment, as you mentioned, 2024 was a bit of a tougher year there. The restaurant market was weaker, and you saw some price pressure from fossil-based alternatives. Could you tell us how this situation is developing now and what we should expect going into 2025?
Yeah, I think I should start with looking back at from when we really started to ramp up our binder business, which was in the end of 2022. That was before the Ukraine. That was not really before, but it was just when the Ukrainian war had started. What happened at that time was that the energy prices went up really a lot, as well as some of the raw materials that we are using, like wheat and corn and this type of raw materials. So the whole market the whole price market was really disturbed at that time. And also for the plastic binders, which we are competing against, the prices for these materials, they went up really high. So we had to increase our prices, and we got that through due to the fact that the whole market increased the prices. Then now when things have settled down a little bit, and we also have been coming into more slow economy, then the prices for raw materials as well as for the fossil-based binders have gone down. So we have had to adjust to that. So this is one of the facts that why we have a lower sales in 2024 compared with 2023. The other factor was, as you mentioned, that we are targeting the hotel and restaurant business a lot, as we are delivering to customers selling napkins, and that has also had a very tough year in 2024. However, looking forward from now, we see that the economy is getting better again. It's improving. We expect that the hotel and restaurant business will also start to have more of a tailwind moving forward, and so we believe that we are now can come back from this level where we are at the moment.
All right. So ignoring the market environment at the moment a bit, could you maybe tell us a bit more what's going on in the segment with regard to new products and new customers?
Yeah, absolutely. As we just announced, Ahlstrom, another major customer to ours, they launched a new product called BioProtect here in the beginning of the year. Ahlstrom have launched now quite a few products with our binders inside them, and we believe that here we will see a good sales growth moving forward just from these segments. Then, of course, we have a number of different other projects in our pipeline, and as we mentioned in the last report, we believe that we have 2 or 3 customers that may also launch products in 2025. Then, as we know from previous launches, it always takes some time before volumes are ramping up. So we believe in the second half of 2025 that we will start to see sales volumes coming from the new product launches, but then also moving into 2026.
All right, very good. Let's move on to the green coatings and maintenance product segment then. This segment had a really strong year, as you mentioned, in 24, and you've already announced 2 new customers this year that you've signed. Could you walk us through what enabled the strong performance in 2024, and how do you view the customer pipeline at the moment? Are you going to be able to keep up momentum in 2025?
Absolutely. I think the reason and the history behind having a very strong year in 2024 comes from the product development that we have been doing for quite some years. In 2023, we launched the first world 100% bio-based textile impregnation, our new OrganoTex product, which have been taken. The customers have really liked the product and the concept that we have, and there we are really unique compared with our competitors. So this has been a really important feature for us to take new customers, not only in Sweden but also in other parts of Europe, because we stand out against the competitors. For the BioClean brand, it's also product development, which I believe is the reason behind a strong growth in 2024. During the last couple of years, we have eco-labeled or we have reformulated, redeveloped the BioClean segment, so it has become more environmentally friendly, and we have been able to eco-label it with a good environmental choice for all these products, and this have also, the customers are really liking that they can have a broad range of eco-labeled maintenance products for house and for villa owners and so on. So product development and that we have products that really works well have been a really clear reason behind the success, I believe.
And do you think you can keep momentum up in 2025?
Well, I believe so. I believe we will have, we have taken a lot of new customers in 2024, as you mentioned. For OrganoTex, we took major outdoor retailers in Italy, in Belgium, in Denmark, and also more resellers in Sweden. For BioClean, we had one really major new customer in Sweden last year, which is Bauhaus, which was in a way our dream customer because they are the biggest do-it-yourself actor in Sweden. So moving forward with Bauhaus and also some other new customers, I think we can have a good momentum for both BioClean and also for OrganoTex.
All right, very good. Then finally, we have the functional wood segment. So this segment also had a bit of a tougher time in 2024. There's a big exposure to the construction market here, of course, which was one of the main drivers of that. Could you tell us what your view is here? When do you think this could start recovering? You wrote a bit about your new product, OrganoWood Nova, in the last report. How do you think this will help the segment going forward?
Well, I think also here, one of the key things that we've been focusing on is improving the product, improving the environmental aspect of it, but also the performance of it. And as you mentioned, we launched OrganoWood Nova in 2022. This is a relatively new product. It's still in the upscaling phase for us, but we have now switched over completely to this product. One key thing that we received last year was, and in the beginning of this year, was long-term field studies for OrganoWood Nova, where we have third-party actors that are doing field studies, which is very important when it comes to wood protection technologies. So these type of studies are extremely important when driving sales, and we had excellent results in these field studies. This was also behind that we now became one of the few actors that have the Nordic Swan eco-label on the Organo Wood Nova product, which we received here in the beginning of 2025. And the Nordic Swan is not only about the environmental aspect of the product, but also about the quality and long-term durability of the product. So the long-term field studies were really key for us to receive the Nordic Swan eco-label. So I think these things together will be important moving forward. However, I think the construction industry will still have a few more months of a weak phase. So probably 2025 will still be quite weak year in terms of the overall market aspect. But we are really now focusing on new markets like Germany, where we saw we had actually growth last year, even though the whole segment went down. We had the sales growth in Germany, and we also took a new distributor in Germany, which we are now really working together with in order to get new end customers in Germany, which we believe will help and support the performance of this business segment.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. There's previously been some discussion about the potential change of business model in this segment, where you would transition to a more license-based model and focus purely on the chemistry instead of the wood. Could you just update us on whether this is still the plan and what the hurdles that need to be overcome are?
Absolutely, this is still a plan, and we really want to go to a business model where we are focusing on production and supply of our green chemical technologies. Now we are doing that in all other business segments except for the functional wood segment. As you know, we out-licensed our biocomposite business area a few years ago, but we still have the functional wood where we want to move over to this business model. One key here was that to transfer from our old wood treatment technology to our new wood treatment technology, which now have been done. I would say we have 2 or 3 really concrete cases now where we are discussing with potential partners for licensing of the technology. So this is something that we're focusing on. I believe, though, it will take a few more years because it's more like an industrial project compared quite a lot to our non-woven segment, where you need to do a lot of tests, you need to do a lot of installations and production upscaling at the various license partners. So it will take some time, but we are really working on this right now.
Okay, very good. Moving on to the financial aspect of things a bit. So for 2024, your EBIT margin came in at -8%, down a bit from -6%, I believe, the year before. But at the same time, your gross margin improved a bit from 24 to 25. Could you just tell us a bit about what's preventing you from breaking even right now and what you are doing to get there?
Well, first, I believe the most important thing for us to reach a break even, and which we are focusing of course a lot on, is to regain our sales growth. I mean, we had a negative sales growth last year due to the factors that we were speaking about earlier, and now getting back to sales growth for the whole group will certainly be a key for us to reach the break-even level. Then another aspect which we have handled good during the last year is the cost, our fixed cost. These we have reduced quite substantially during the last 3 years and now we believe we are on a level where we can work on sales growth, but still have the capacity to supply what we need to deliver. So we are focusing on keeping the cost structure on the same level as we are today, and now regaining sales growth. And this is something that we should be able to do. If you look historically, we've had 1 year in 19 years with no sales growth, and that was in 2024. Looking at the last 10 years, the average sales growth per year have been 19.8%. So it's only 1 year where we have actually lacked sales growth. So now we should just get back on track again to where we've been before, and then we will reach that level. However, if you look at the cash flow, as you also have seen we have had now 2 years in a row where we've had positive cash flow from operations. So there we are moving in the right direction. Now we should just get back on track with the sales growth as well.
Yeah, and could you tell us anything about what kind of capacity you have at the moment and the utilization that you're at?
Absolutely. In our factory, which we have built up and invested in northern Stockholm, we have a total capacity of 20,000 tons per year of our green chemical products. Last year we were producing and supplying about 4,000 tons. So we are producing and supplying quite a lot of volume, but we have still 5 times capacity. So we can grow a lot without having to add extra cost or extra capex, as we have all the machinery installed and the people. So we are running the factory now in 2 shifts. We can move up to 5 shifts, but we can also increase the volume that we are producing per shift by just adding some extra operators that are running the machines. So to very low cost we can increase the production volume.
All right, and then looking at the longer term, what kind of EBIT margin level do you think is reasonable in your line of business, and how would that change if you make the transition of business model in the functional wood segment?
I think we should start from looking at the gross margin here, and which is the foundation for a good EBIT margin moving forward. And looking at last year, we came in at around 26% gross margin, and that was a little bit higher than the previous year. But this is really dependent on the volume that we are producing, as all the fixed costs that we have for production is included in our gross margin when we if you look at individual quarters last year, the highest quarter we had a gross margin of 30%, and that was when we supplied the most volume. And looking at the underlying cost structure for us, we believe we can reach a gross margin of 40% when we have scaled up and start to reach higher capacity in our production. So moving from there, we believe that in the long term we can reach an EBIT margin of around 20%. However, that will be more in the long term. In the more short term, we should be able to reach 10% EBIT margin in not too far distant future, and then gradually moving up from there up to our long-term goal of reaching 20% EBIT margin.
All right, very good. So to finish off, are there any other thoughts that you have going into 2025 that you want to share with the audience?
Well, I truly believe that 2025 will be a much better year than 2024. Our clear ambition and target now is to get back on sales growth again, and in particular for having a continuous sales growth for our consumer products in the green coatings business, but also coming back to sales growth for our non-woven binders. Functional wood is a little bit more difficult to project, as this is highly dependent on how the overall construction market will develop, but hopefully it will be more stable this year than it has been during the last 3 years. So in overall we should move back to sales growth, and by saying that, if we keep the cost level at the same line as we have today, then we of course should improve our profitability quite a lot as well.
All right, thank you very much for that. That's all we have time for today, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you.